Hey, look YouTube, welcome back to a new video with Rams Fan YT. Today is a special History of Your Club because I didn't have really time to plan because I was on holiday for the last 3 weeks. Well, not 3 weeks, 10 days. Last 3 videos, I think it was. And I got given a suggestion by my subscriber S, who said, can you please do my local club of Stafford Rangers as a History of Your Club, as he really enjoyed the series. Well, yeah, I'm certainly happy to oblige, especially seeing we hit 75 subscribers, we're now on 77, even better. And if you want a recommended video that you want to see me do, please do feel free to leave it in the comment section down below, and I will do it at some point. This was just convenient for me. So then, let's go into a lovely town of Stafford in Staffordshire. Really declined in importance recently, but their football team is at Tier 7 in the Northern Premier League Premier Division at the moment. And I'm going to try and, for those that are watching that don't know the non-league games, I will sort of be saying almost what level they are at. So I'll say Tier 11 or Tier 7 or stuff like that. Right then, despite extensive research, no one is able to prove conclusively when Stafford Rangers was actually formed. As the early minute books were destroyed during the First World War, and Rangers' formation year is actually recognised as 1876 because of articles in the local advertising newspaper. But there is an alternative theory on Rangers' formation date, which was printed in the Sentinel newspaper during 1891, which was suggested that the club was founded by a Bible class in 1877. Rangers' early matches were cup games and friendlies, with the club reaching the FA Cup first round in both 1884-85 and 1885-86. The club then had spells in the Shropshire League and Birmingham League and North Staffordshire League. The Shropshire League and Birmingham League, I think, are around about Tier 11 nowadays. I don't think the North Staffordshire League actually exists anymore. And that was up to the turn of the century. And they moved to their present home of Marston Road in 1896. In 1900 and 1901, Stafford joined the Birmingham League, and in 1904 had an FA Cup run to the last qualifying round, bowing out in a replay at Second Division Blackpool. They were demoted to the Birmingham Combination in 1912, but won the championship at the first attempt in 1912-13, and then finished runners-up in 2 of the next 4 seasons either side of the First World War. Rangers won the Birmingham League title in 1926-27, twice finishing as runners-up in 1928-29 and 1929-30, and were actually twice third in 5 memorable seasons. During this period, a total of 542 league goals were scored, with striker Eddie Cameron regularly scoring goals. Due to financial troubles, the team spent the mid to late 1930s struggling to avoid re-election, and in one game were so short of players that the club secretary R.P. Brown had to play and actually scored a goal, to be fair. During April 1935, a successful appeal for £100 to pay creditors enabled the club to survive. When war broke out in 1939, Rangers participated in an emergency Birmingham League during the 1939-40 season, finishing as runners-up and then disbanded. After the Second World War, the club reformed and played in the Birmingham Combination for 6 seasons, achieving our highest position of 6th in 1950-51. With a view to progress, Rangers joined the Cheshire County League, which is at Tier 11 at the moment, in 1952, and they finished third in the 1954-55 season. However, Rangers' spell in the Cheshire Football League was generally one of struggle, and during the early 60s found financial difficulties again, and this threatened the club's existence. There were, however, some positive results, including the 7 goals scored by Les Box in an 11-0 FA Cup victory over Dudley Town during September 1957. In 1965, the appointment of Colin Hutchinson as manager started an improvement, Rangers won the 1967-68 Cheshire League Cup, and the following season finished as Cheshire League runners-up and earned a place in the Northern Premier League, which is at Tier 7 at the moment. The 70s were the most successful era in the club's history. With Roy Chapman as manager, the club recorded a Northern Premier League Championship, an FA Trophy, and a Staffordshire Senior Cup treble in the season 1971-72, with Ray Williams scoring a club record of 48 goals in a single season. However, they did not apply for election to the Football League and have never since finished high enough to enter the Football League. 3 seasons later, Rangers progressed to the FA Cup 4th round, defeating Stockport County, Halifax Town and Rotherham United, on their way to a defeat against Peterborough United in front of a crowd of 31,160 at Stoke City's Victoria Ground. The home of the third round tie with Rotherham attracted a crowd of 8,536 people to Marston Road. After Chapman had departed to manage League Club at Stockport County, Rangers were again at Wembley Stadium in 1975-76 for their second FA Trophy final, but they lost to Scarborough 3-2 after extra time. Roy Chapman returned as manager and success continued with a second FA Trophy final win in 1979, this time against Kettering Town. Rangers became founding members of the Alliance Premier League, which is now the National League, or has also been known as the Conference, and that's at Tier 5. But this coincided with the club finishing low in the league, as various managers found it difficult to follow the success of the 70s. After 4 seasons, Rangers were relegated to the Northern Premier League. This form continued, but with the appointment of Ron Reid as manager during the 1983-84 season, as manager, the club soon began to rebuild its reputation and won the 1984-85 league title. Back in the Alliance, the Bob Lord Trophy, Jim Thompson Shield and Staffordshire Senior Cup were all won within 2 seasons. During the late 80s and early 90s, Rangers struggled in the conference, with 6 managers in 7 seasons, following Reid's departure in May 1988. The sale of striker Stan Collymore to Crystal Palace in December 1990 for a substantial 6-figure fee stands out in this period. Under the management of Dennis Booth, Rangers enjoyed a tremendous 1992-93 campaign. In the league, they finished 6th, and they reached the FA Cup second round, defeating Lincoln City in a first-round replay at Marston Road. After Booth departed for Bristol Rovers, Rangers found success difficult to achieve and were relegated from the conference to the Southern League Premier Division at the end of the 1994-95 season. The slide continued at the start of the 1995-96 campaign, and when Kevin Bowen took over in October 1995, Rangers had not gained a single point. Bowen made an immediate impact and achieved good results in the second half of the season, but the damage had already been done at the club, and the club was relegated for the second successive season. With an ambition to take Stafford Rangers back to their former heights in non-league football, the board appointed Kevin Bond as manager towards the end of 1997. Despite some good performances, Rangers ended the season in a mid-table position, and Bond moved on to Portsmouth. Ian Painter succeeded Bond in 1998's close season, and in his term, Rangers finished 5th in the Southern League Midland Division, or the 8th tier now, with the distinction of being the equal highest scorers in the pyramid with 92 goals. In 1999-2000, following a slow start, a strengthened side achieved a club record unbeaten run of 23 games. Rangers were once again equal highest scorers in the pyramid with 107 goals and duly won the Southern League Western Division Championship. After 2 seasons in the Premier Division, finishing 7th and 9th respectively, Painter left the club in April 2002. During Painter's final season, Rangers recorded a club record 15-0 victory over Kids Grove Athletic in a Staffordshire Senior Cup tie on the 20th of November 2001. Phil Robinson, whose playing career took him to several top Football League clubs around the East and West Midlands, joined his hometown club as player-manager in the 2002 close season, and immediately set about creating a structure to develop young local talent with the introduction of reserves and youth teams. He retained only a few of Painter's squad, which led to an increased support from the terrorists due to the improvement in results. They finished second in the Southern League Premier Division and reached the FA Cup first round for the first time in a decade, and brought the Staffordshire Senior Cup back to Marston Road with a 5-1 victory over Stoke City at Port Vale's Vale Park. Robinson's second season in charge of 2003-04 brought more success with Rangers, this time finishing third in the league behind Crawley Town and Weymouth, to earn a place amongst the nationwide Conference North founding members. That's Tier 6. Rangers reached the Staffordshire Senior Cup final, but lost 1-0 to Kidsgrove Athletic. At the end of the 2004-05 season, silverware had returned to Marston Road as the team regained the Senior Cup, defeating Leek Town in the final at Vale Park, as well as reaching the FA Cup first round, where they lost 1-0 to Chester City. Rangers finished the inaugural Conference North season in the 8th position, with the tightest defence in the division, having conceded just 44 goals. Stafford Rangers achieved promotion back to the 5th tier of English football after a playoff win on penalties over Droylsden in May 2006 at rivals Burton Albion's New Pirelli Stadium. This came at an end of a successful 2005-06 league campaign, which resulted in a second-place finish. In the 2006-07 season, the club reached the second round of the FA Cup, where they lost to Brighton and Hove Albion. A match against Dagenham and Redbridge was featured live on Sky Sports. Goalkeeper Danny Alcock or something like that was selected for the England non-league squad in the January 2007, and a month later Cameroonian Guy Maggio was selected by his nation for international duty. The club managed to avoid relegation on the final day of the season and finished 20th in the conference. 2007 saw Stafford struggle to compete in an increasingly difficult league with many ex-league and professional sides. Phil Robinson left the club, and after 5.5 years in charge, and many Stafford fans were unhappy to see him leave. Players Neil Grayson and Kevin Street were placed in temporary charge of a county town club as joint caretaker managers. On the 21st of February 2008, Steve Bull was appointed as head coach. Bull was unable to save the club, and on the 7th of April 2008, Rangers were relegated to the Conference North following a 4-0 defeat at home to York City. He left the club on 12th of December, being replaced by Chris Brindley, who was the assistant manager under Bull. At the end of the 2009 season, Stafford Rangers' future was uncertain, as they needed to pay Slick Seating £50,000 by the 7th of July. The club came up with the idea of selling 250 tickets at £200 that would be repaid in weekly draws. This worked, and the club was saved from going into administration. On the 14th of April 2010, news was leaked that chairman John Downing had resigned from his position after 17 years on the club's board. In September 2010, Brindley resigned as manager of Stafford Rangers, and the following month the club appointed Tim Flowers as manager. But he resigned as manager on the 11th of January 2011 after just 9 games in charge, and his assistant Matt Elliott took over the job. Despite some improved performances, Elliott could not prevent relegation to the Northern Premier League for the 2011-12 season. Their fate was not confirmed until the final game of the season, a 3-2 defeat at Stalybridge Celtic. Elliott initially accepted the offer to become manager for the next season, but then had a change of heart and resigned. On the 31st of May 2011, Greg Clowes was appointed manager, but on the 8th of September 2013, following a defeat in all of their opening 7 league games, Clowes, Garner and coach Mick Hathaway were relieved of their managerial duties. The club appointed Andy Much as interim manager until Graham Heathcote was announced as manager on the 3rd of January 2014. Following a further relegation, this time to the NPL Division 1 South, Tier 8, Heathcote felt that he could not continue as manager on a limited playing budget. And on the 28th of May 2014, former Russell Olympic boss Neil Kitching was appointed as the new manager of Stafford Rangers. At the end of the 2017-18 season, Neil Kitching and his coaching team parted company with the club by mutual consent after 4 successful years at the helm. It was announced at the start of the 2018-19 season but former Stafford Rangers player Steve Burr would take over, and he was appointed as the club's new manager. On the 28th of December 2018, Steve Burr resigned from his position as manager, following poor results. On the 1st of January 2019, Alex Meechan and Andy Fern stepped up from assistant manager and first-team coach to take charge of the first team as joint managers until the end of the season. After successfully guiding the club away from the drop zone, thus avoiding relegation, the board of directors gave the managerial duo the job on a permanent basis. The 2020-21 season saw another managerial change, with Jody Bannon taking the helm. Matt Hill took the post of assistant, and Andy Fern, who had been joint manager, joined the board of directors as director of football. And so they have been in the Northern Premier League since since they got promoted. Since they got promoted from Northern Premier League Division 1 South in 2015-16. So they've been in it for quite a while now, and kind of stagnated recently. But hope you enjoyed that as a video I've done from. If you want to have a video recommended, please do also recommend it. I doubt it's going to do well, this video, but you never know. There may be some non-league fans of Stafford Rangers out there who happen to find it. But yeah, I'm going to continue the normal History of Your Club series though on Monday. But goodbye for now.